He watched the world through a screen of fear. In his mind, the end was near. The preachers of panic, the prophets of doom, led him down to his concrete tomb. He stocked up rice, beans, and water too, a Bible, a rifle, and his favorite tune. Said goodbye to the world, locked the hatch tight, convinced he'd survive the long, dark night. But he went down too soon, fooled by the lies, believed the end was nigh from the noise online. When the sky stayed blue and the earth still turned, he wasted his days while his candles burned. Years rolled on in silent shade, no sunlight kissed where his fears were laid. He read the books, rationed his stash, counting each day till the food ran out fast. The radio static sang songs of dread, but no one confirmed what the preppers had said. So he climbed the ladder, his hands shaking thin, to face the world he'd abandoned within. But he went down too soon, fooled by the lies, believed the end was nigh from the noise online. When the sky stayed blue and the earth still turned, he wasted his days while his candles burned. The sun on his face, the air so clean, but a haunting sight where the town had been. A blast, a storm, a chaos of rage. He was too late now to turn the page. Supplies were gone, no friends to call. His bunker, cage, and pride his fall. A lesson too cruel, too sharp to bear. The preachers of panic were never there. 'Cause he went down too soon, fooled by the lies, believed the end was nigh from the noise online. When the real storm came, he was unprepared. No food, no hope, just an empty stare. Now he walks alone in a barren land, a cautionary tale of the doomsday man. Don't trust the prophets of fear and gloom, or you'll live your life in an early tomb.
Good evening, good evening. I hope everybody's okay. It was a nice little break that we had. I just, Christmas Eve, I thought, nah, not gonna go. Not gonna do it. And then Christmas night, I'm like, not gonna do it. Which I initially planned on taking Christmas night off anyway. And then, I believe Christmas was on a Wednesday, and the following Thursday, I'm like, nah. So the show got a bunch of nah. So, it is what it is. I am back. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Watchman News, where we keep you informed and entertained, mostly informed or not. Today we're diving into the world of YouTube prepping channels. Brace yourselves, because I've got some bad news for the doomsday preppers out there. Here's why in 2025 those channels are going to crash and burn like a poorly constructed fallout shelter in a light breeze. First off, let's talk about the economics. YouTube's algorithm, bless its ever-changing heart, has decided that the world really needs more content about cat videos and people falling into pools. Preppers, your days of racking up views with tutorials on how to make a flamethrower from a hairdryer are numbered. The algorithm is now favoring content that makes you laugh, not prepare for the end of days. In 2025, your survival guide will be buried under a mountain of epic fails and try not to laugh compilations, and let's not forget about the horrendous reaction videos. Secondly, real-world events keep outdoing the prepper narratives. Remember when preppers were all about preparing for the apocalypse with their bunkers and stockpiles? Well, guess what? The world has decided to take a chill pill. No major disasters, no alien invasions, not even a decent-sized meteor. If the world isn't ending, why would anyone watch a video on how to turn your basement into a panic room? The lack of real threats means viewers are more interested in learning how to make gourmet meals from leftover takeout than how to survive a nuclear winter. Now let's discuss the saturation. There's only so much you can do with canned beans and duct tape. Every prepper channel has now covered every conceivable scenario from zombie outbreaks to alien abductions. In 2025, the market will be so oversaturated that even the most dedicated survivalists will throw their hands up and say, "I've seen this episode already." You can only watch so many videos on how to filter water with a sock before you start questioning your life choices. Then there's the credibility issue, my favorite, by the way. How many times can you cry wolf before people stop listening? Every time a prepper predicts the end of the world and it doesn't happen, they lose a bit more credibility. In 2025, if you predict one more apocalypse, you'll be met with eye rolls so powerful they could start a wind farm. People might start seeing prepping not as a lifestyle, but as a punchline to a very long, very boring joke. Let's not forget the competition from entertainment. With streaming services churning out survival shows that are more entertaining and less doom and gloom, why would anyone watch a video of someone in camo explaining the nuances of different types of survival knives when they can binge watch Survivor's Paradise, where contestants live out their wildest survival fantasies with a dash of drama and romance? Lastly, and most importantly, the culture shift towards optimism. There's a growing trend to positivity, where people are more interested in thriving than just surviving. In 2025, the vibe might be all about manifesting your best life, not stockpiling for the worst case. Prepping channels will struggle to keep up with this new wave of vibe prepping, where the preparation is all about mental health, yoga, and manifesting abundance rather than hoarding toilet paper. So to all you preppers out there, start considering a pivot. Maybe teach us how to make an artisan bread or how to turn your bunker into a luxury spa retreat. Because if you don't adapt, your channel will be as extinct as the dinosaurs you thought you were preparing to outlive. That's all for tonight's monologue, folks. Remember, at the Watchman News, we're here to keep you informed or at least entertained. And until next time, keep prepping or not. Anywho, I ran into two problems with tonight's show. Number one, the monologue was way more factual than it was funny. I can't help that. That's what ChatGPT, or this might have been Grok. It was probably Grok. This is what it spit out at me. The song, I prompted for a blues song. Country music is like fingernails on a chalkboard to me. So, yes, even listening to the intro song tonight was pretty grueling for me. I prompted for a blues song, but that's the best it could give me. So, and I used two of my version 4.0s on that song. So, not a bad song. It just, now the lyrics are from ChatGPT. I've found that it's better to let ChatGPT write the song lyrics and then input those song lyrics into Suno. And the results are, I think quite impressive. Again, that wasn't quite the musical, what would you say, accompaniment that I wanted. but it's what we got. I wasn't going to waste any more version 4s on that one song, so. And I ain't paying for it because, I can't. So I just wanted to let everybody know there is a playlist on at our YouTubes. So if you look in the playlist, there is a music playlist where every one of these songs are posted. I just wanted to let folks know of that, make them aware. There's one in particular you like or something, you can, whatever you want to do with it, I don't care. You can download it. I can't tell you how to do that because YouTube would get all pissy with me. But you can download it if you want. If you don't know how to do that, get a hold of me. I'll make sure you got a way to get a copy. Let's see. I was actually going to change that over. That one that just played is still it's unlisted until right meow. So now it's public. So anyway, that's why I went ahead and the other song that I had actually had done up for today or this evening, the Doomsday Prepper Blues, I released it to the public today, this morning, because I was working on this other one. So anyway, all the music I've been doing will be over in the music playlist. I'm working on a mixtape, yo. That's all I can say. Well, it is what it is. So, let's start out with, well, hell, let's just go full retard, shall we? Let's start out with the latest of the doom, gloom, prepper room, if you will, right? So, I'm hearing, okay, so I listened to a video by Adapt 2030, and he's all flipping out about some weather system coming in. And I think a lot of people saw that video because then all of a sudden a bunch of prepper channels go, oh, maybe again. It's ridiculous. I mean, it is. It's truly ridiculous at this point. It's mind-blowing. It is absolutely mind-blowing. So, we've got a cold weather system moving in. For over a decade, long before I started the Watchman News, I had been talking to people about the pole shift. I had been telling people that at some point, our winters are going to get colder, and our summers are going to get hotter. Storm systems were going to change massively. Been saying this for over a decade. It's been very apparent for the last 3-4 years to those that's been watching. So, is his name David Dubine or whatever, Adapt 2030? I'm telling you, full retard. Starts talking about the day after movie. The day after tomorrow. Sorry, the day after tomorrow movie. Oh, they looking at the day after tomorrow. No, retard, shut up. Are we ever looking at a situation where that movie somewhat or closely represents reality? The answer is yes, but not in the next 2 weeks. Get a grip of yourself, dude. You've got my guess, and that's all it is a guess. Well, actually, it goes beyond a guess, but nobody would believe it anyway if I told them where I got the information from, so what's the point? Or you can use the scientific analysis by Ben Davison, and I'm good either way. Still gets you in the same ballpark. He's thinking pole shift is going to happen 2040s, early to mid 2040s. I think pole shift is going to happen mid to late 2030s. Okay? So we differ a little bit there in what we expect. At that time, yes, you can expect something like that. But let me tell you something. Before we get to that point, we got a whole bunch of nightmare coming. If you think the storms in the summer are bad, ain't seen nothing yet. If you think the winter storms have been bad, you ain't seen nothing yet. It will gradually get worse as the years go on, the closer till we reach this point. Now, if you've ever had a top as a child, a little spinny top thing, and you spin the top, and the top is spinning, everything's all good. And as the top starts to slow down, you'll notice that it starts to rock back and forth. And that rock increases until eventually, bloop, it falls over. Pole shift is going to be the same way. As a matter of fact, we've got more wobble of the earth right now than any time ever recorded history. More wobble of the earth. That's why. So at some point, yes, the top, aka Earth, is going to flop. And when that happens, you will most certainly see a weather event much like in the movie The Day After Tomorrow. But let me tell you something. You're going to have tidal waves and earthquakes that you damn well better be more concerned about at that particular point in time than a temperature change. Just saying. You kind of have to be worried about all of them. That's a fact. Everything that I just said can be backed up by science. Everything I just said. You can go to Suspicious Observers on YouTube. Watch his disaster playlist. Just doing that one thing alone, you'll understand what it is that I am talking about. My issue with these so-called prepper channels is they're trying to get you all spun up. So you'll keep clicking their videos. You'll keep buying their crap they peddle. Right? Oh no, we got cold weather coming. I wonder if Bear Independent's going to have a hypothermia kit that he releases in the next couple of days. It's ridiculous. It's that damned ridiculous. Let me show you. We live in Illinois. Right? Not far from St. Louis. This is normal for going into January. Normal. Oh, but it's gonna stay cold. Yeah, you mean like January, February, into March. Yeah. I'm telling you, he done gone full retard, yo. Done gone full retard. This is normal. Normal. And I do expect that we'll have probably some cold snaps in and among that might be a little colder than usual. That's highly likely. But is it a day after tomorrow event like he was trying to push it off at? No. He went full retard. It's only going to stop when people stop clicking on the videos, when people stop supporting the liars, and people start calling them out. Because it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So, there were some plane crashes real recently. One of them happened in South Korea, very tragic incident. Don't know exactly for sure what happened, and no, I don't need anybody to tell me what happened, because you don't fucking know. I'm telling you, reality TV has society so fucked in the head. It's unreal. It is unreal, and that is a fact, and that's why I avoided it. That's why 2006, I saw reality TV for what it was, and I'm like, I'm good. And I backed away from television programming because I didn't want to ingest into my mind that nonsense. I saw what it was. In real life, and I'm talking real life, not social media life, in real life, all throughout your day, do you have people taking you to the side to ask you how you feel about something? No. Why? Because that's retarded. But people want to act that out on social media all day, every day. And venues like, the short term, I'm calling them venues, but whatever. Like Twitter, like Instagram, like TikTok. I don't even have a TikTok account. Chances are 99.99999%. You send me a TikTok video link, I ain't watching it. I ain't got no interest in it. No. Garbage in, garbage out. And if you don't have enough self-accountability and self-control to control what you take in, I'm probably not going to be interested in what you put out. I'm me, yo. You do you, boo. But I'm me. And I'm me for a reason. Apparently the dog doesn't like that. Fine. I'll eat all your cinnamon bread. It's mine now. Anyway, so there was a couple of crashes that happened as of late. One of them, unfortunately, the South Korean incident. What is it? 179 lives. I saw different numbers. Right now, I'm looking at 179. So I'm going with that. Absolutely horrible incident. And no, we don't know what happened. No idea. The NTSB, even though that's more or less a U.S. Group, is going to be investigating, along with South Korean individuals. And until they go over the data from the black box, we don't know nothing. I belong to several aviation groups. Social media again. This is what got me, on the social media kick. And let me tell you what, everybody and their brothers over there on them groups telling you just what happened. Let me tell you what, if you're not one of two people, I don't want to hear a word from you. If you're not a pilot of that particular kind of plane, which I don't even know what it was, hang on, a 737-800, okay. If you're not either a pilot of a 737-800 specifically, or an A&P, a mechanic that's certified to work on 737-800s, I don't want to hear about it. I don't want your opinion. Sorry, y'all. Sorry, yo, because it means squat. And even the pilot's opinion pales in comparison to the mechanic's opinion. Because all these planes have specific systems, and they're not all the same. And they have specific redundancies, and they're not all the same. So telling me, or anybody else, that, the reason why he couldn't put the flaps down or the wheels was because the right engine went out, and that took out this, and that meant that he couldn't do that. Oh, do you work on them? No. Do you fly them? No. Then shut up. ChatGPT is not a trusted source of information here. It's unreal. But lo and behold, hell, you got Jason A. making videos about mysterious plane crashes. Okay. Well, the one plane that I believe was probably shot down by Russia, that's not much of a mystery, yo. This plane, the exact circumstances are a mystery as of now, this moment, but it was clear that there was a bird strike or something that had happened prior to the incident. we don't know yet whether or not they were having any other kinds of issues before and I'm just for now calling it an apparent bird strike, because there was something that it looked like came out of that right engine. We don't know. But one thing is for certain, I wouldn't tag it with mysterious. Ooh. Next people are going to want me to believe in a bunch of ghosts and crap. And I can speak to that, and I have before. In fact, I'll take a moment. A friend of mine, may he rest in peace. By the way, oh yeah, that reminds me, Jimmy Carter died today. So, I don't got much good to say. The only thing I know about Jimmy Carter is that he was a weak president, and my dad always called him the peanut president or the peanut farmer. I don't know. He was involved in peanuts. I don't know that much about him. From what I do know, I don't like him. Very, very weak individual. Oh, but you can't say that, Watchman. Look, I'm not whatever his channel is. The dude, Homestead Preparedness, whatever the hell his channel's name is. I'm not him. Oh, well, we can't say nothing bad about a person. No, if you were a piece of shit when you were living, guess what? If you didn't change those ways, you died a piece of shit. I don't want anybody that can't respect me when I'm alive to all of a sudden turn around and act like they respect me after I die. And I'm not going to do the same in return to anybody else. It's the way it is. Now, if you were a piece of shit and became a pretty good person and then passed away, then that is absolutely going to be noted. I had a friend of mine that crazy dude. A different friend than the one I was initially talking about. Crazy dude. He had a very big drinking problem. He had a problem keeping it in his pants. I couldn't tell you how many kids he had from different mothers, different women, a bunch. But he straightened his life out. Absolutely straightened his life out. And he wouldn't talk about a shame. He was on his way to work. On his way to work, hit by a drunk driver and killed. The most ironic thing. But back to what I was initially saying. Another friend of mine that had passed away, big into the whole believe in ghosts thing, right? Everything's a ghost. Of course, watched all the ghost reality TV shows and all. Everything's a ghost. Well, I lived in this old home, and there was a bunch of add-ons to the home. You know what I mean? It was originally, I think, just a small cabin, and they kept adding on to it and kept adding on to it. Well, he didn't, but people prior to them living there. And there was no light switch in the kitchen. Right? The light switch was you screwing the bulb in and unscrewing the bulb. That was the light switch. And he swore up and down that there was a ghost in that house. Swore up and down. Because I know I turned that light out, unscrewed the bulb, and it came back on. Well, right on the other side of the wall, near where that light fixture was an old rough-running refrigerator. Vibrated like hell. And I'm like, right. I knew right away what it was. Right. As a kid, have you ever taken a hockey game? One of those old school, I'm 52, one of the old school vibrating table hockey games? Right? You know, where the hockey players just vibrate across the board. You ever taken one of those and just lifted it up at a little bit of an angle? What happens? The hockey players will vibrate uphill. If you've never done it, you got to take my word for it. But I guarantee you, as long as you don't lift it too high of an angle, they will vibrate uphill. It's physics. The same thing is true for the threads on a light bulb. If you vibrate whatever that fixture is being held with, and that bulb is just barely unscrewed, you give it a little while, and that bulb will actually screw itself in, not out. I know it goes against all logic that gravity wouldn't unscrew the bulb instead, but no, it's just one of those odd things about physics. Now, granted, you could very likely change the frequency of that vibration and cause it to go the other way. But it would have to be a real massive change in the frequency. Anyway, physics talk for another time. There are people out there that literally fantasize about disaster. Fantasize about the unknown. And so that everything in front of them becomes that. I can't remember the saying off the top of my head about the hammer and the nail, every problem looking like a nail. Whatever, but you get the point. Same concept. Same concept. So while this is indeed a tragedy, I will wait for the airline officials, the NTSB and others, to release their report as to what happened, the order of failure, and what have you. Because anything beside that, and you're just kidding yourself. I love planes, but I can't tell you jack about the inner workings of a 737-800, that's for damn sure. I'm not going to pretend I can, unlike much of society. So this was another incident happening in Canada. And apparently there was an issue with the gear not coming down. Suspected landing gear issue. So there was the crew and 73 passengers. Apparently it landed, I believe, there was a fire. But everything's okay. Much better situation than what happened in South Korea. So it happens. And while, aviation accidents per se, especially ones involving big airlines, are pretty rare, aviation incidents aren't. What do I mean by incidents? There's a lot of incidents. There's a lot of people that are taxiing a plane from one place to another and clip a wing on a hangar or something like that. No, there's no accident report made because it wasn't an accident. It's an incident. I do believe that there's a report that's got to be made, but it's not like investigated like a major accident. It depends on the severity of what happened, to be honest. But there's a lot of stuff that happens on the regular that are known more as incidents more than anything. Having an aircraft that had a gear issue, that's far from unheard of. A lot of aircraft, especially passenger type aircraft, have backups. And when I say backups, I'm not necessarily meaning the redundancy of the systems. I'm talking about they'll have a manual way to drop the gear. But not all aircraft. Not all aircraft. But there are a lot of the passenger planes and stuff. They will actually have a manual system, whether it's more like a hydraulic pump jack, something like that, or whether it's just something you crank. They will have a manual way to drop and lock that gear into place. There's other recommended techniques if you've got a gear that sticks. Literally, you drop your gear and you wiggle the plane back and forth as you're flying. You kind of jerk it a little bit back and forth and see if that dislodges the gear and let the gear come on down. I can't tell you all the procedures because I've not flown planes like that. I just know that those are some of them. So how much of this stuff did this guy do? Did he even know his gear? Who knows? He may not have known that it didn't come down. So I didn't read the article because it's not mysterious. And why? I mean, I don't know. Stuff gets old after a while. Oh my God, you gotta be worried about this. Oh my God, look at what... Remember when that train accident happened in Ohio? And people were reporting every single train incident that happened, and there's more than one on day average? Yeah, it was crazy. I'll tell you if I see something I find concerning. I see a bunch of BS, and I don't mean that with just the stuff that's being reported, but just a bunch of BS in general, a bunch of BS going on with the incoming administration, as a matter of fact. We're going to get to that a little bit in a moment. China apparently had debuted a couple of aircraft that they're interesting. I'm not going to throw a bunch of anything into the air here because we don't know nothing. A lot of people want to make a lot of claims without knowing a lot of information. I'm not going to do that. Some people are calling these 6th generation fighters, and I would say not so fast. Maybe not. We don't know. But there were 2 aircraft that apparently were viewed, and very interesting aircraft. They do have some of the characteristics that a 6th generation fighter jet would have, but by no means are they certainly 6th generation planes. And then somebody here had even said, RT spoke about the new jets with Mikhail Karadanok, a retired colonel who served with the main operational directorate of the General Staff of the Russian Armed Forces. The expert said the development represents a serious bid to dominate the air in the 21st century and a major media victory over the U.S., though he also cautioned against drawing far-fetched conclusions based on the looks of the planes alone. And largely what he means there is that they're 6th generation. So, that's a pretty tall order. That's a pretty tall order. I'm not saying they're not. I'm not saying that China can't make 6th generation. I'm saying I don't know that they're there yet. Could be. Don't know. We're not going to know. Kind of how that works. Along with drinking coffee. That news suck when people refuse to bullshit you. I know. Musk tells opponents in visa debate to F yourself. Really? I've got, not that my opinion matters a damn bit, but I've got mixed feelings on this. But I've got a humorous comment about it. There's nothing like this to point out hypocrites more clearly than you've ever seen. What do I mean? Well, where have all those people gone that was saying, Well, we just don't want them bringing in the people that don't have any skills. They're not any trades. They're just people coming in, the fighting age males with no skills, with no trades, and they're going and they're doing this and they're doing that. And I'm not arguing that. Not arguing that. But their point then was, why aren't we only importing the people that are skilled? Some of them will go on and claim that that's what our immigration system is supposed to be about, which, by the way, is said nowhere. But they'll argue that point, that, well, we should only take in the people that have skills, people that can contribute. That's largely what the H-1B program is. Now, I'm not saying that it doesn't get taken advantage of. I'm not saying that there isn't a lot of tomfoolery that goes along with it. I'm sure there is. You put mankind in charge of something and somebody will pervert it. However, boy, it sure points those hypocrites out clearly. Because there are a lot of people that, well, they're going to have something to offer. If they can contribute, then welcome them in. And now they're like, hell no. I find it kind of funny. Anywho, that is not what our immigration system was about. And even when the Statue of Liberty was put in place, there was a part of a poem that was put on it. A poem by Emma Lazarus. The New Colossus. And it goes as such. Not like the brazen giant of Greek fame, with conquering limbs astride from land to land, here at our sea-washed sunset gate shall stand a mighty woman with a torch, whose flame is the imprisoned lightning, and her name, Mother of Exiles. From her beacon hand glows worldwide welcome. Her mild eyes command the air-bridged harbor the twin cities frame. Keep ancient lands your storied pomp, cries she, with silent lips. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. The wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. Now, if somebody, and I know that our immigration system isn't based on a poem on the Statue of Liberty, but that was the spirit of the immigration system at that time. And I don't see anything in there with only send them people if they can do this, this, and this. Now, I am in no way saying that I agree with or that I'm for open borders. No, shut those damn things tight. There is a process, albeit a really screwed up and broken one at this moment. There is a process that needs to be kept to and improved. We need to fix it. You know, it's sad that really good people do have problems getting citizenship in this country. And yet you have some states pushing for undocumented immigrants to be able to take on roles as police officers. Right? In the state of Illinois, you can be an undocumented individual and get a driver's license. To me, that's ridiculous. How many men in the state of Illinois can't drive because they're a little bit behind on child support. But it's okay for an illegal? Seems like our priorities are a little bit screwed up. The guy you're saying needs to make and pay money, you're taking away his transportation to be able to do that? That's pretty retarded. But yet, an illegal immigrant, illegal, a criminal, just in the manner in which they are here. Oh, but he came through asylum. Stop. No, he did not come through asylum. He came through some gimmick made up by a bunch of politicians that's unfortunately been allowing these people to just flow over the border. Asylum my ass. I'm all for immigration. But I think we need to put a stop to all of it until we can get a fair system in place and make sure that it's adhered to. Because I'm telling you, it's not looking good. And I don't know if the scales aren't already tipped. Don't know what's going to happen. I guess we're going to find out when Trump takes office, when Tom Homan starts enforcing stuff. Will we see military getting involved in deporting? I don't know. And nobody does. We'll find out. However it shakes down, could that cause unrest? Civil strife? Maybe. None of us know how that's going to play out. And I would encourage you that all the YouTube channels and anywhere else that you're seeing people constantly just hammering this stuff down. You got to be ready. You better have a bunch of 5.56 for this, and then you got to have your this built for this, and then you got to worry about that every damn day. It never ends. There's always something gonna get you. Every day. You know what kills us? In most cases, isn't what we know about. It's what we don't know about. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. But it's the way society likes to run itself. Okay. I'm going to keep doing what I do. And if that's not acceptable to individuals, because I won't carry on and cry about drones that 99.999% of them were just frickin' civil aviation aircraft that people misidentified. Oh my God, now they're spraying. Stop. Stop. It's not hard. Just stop. And if you can't stop, then you need to just step back. Turn all the shit off. Get some fresh air. And find out what the fuck you're doing with your life. Because if you're letting these news stories get you whipped up, and you're letting these people on the daily keep you whipped up about a whole bunch of nothing, you need some self-reflection. Not me. I'm an asshole. I'm proud of it. But I'm also real. And I will come here and give you the most honest truth that I possibly can. I'm not going to cherrycoat it. I'm not going to exaggerate it. I'm not going to play games to feed into the algorithms or to keep people clicking like or subscribe. I don't give a fuck. I'm here to bring truth. And I welcome those that want to partake in that. If you need fear to keep you tuned in, shalom.